Ooh.
Shiny.
Shiny. Look at that. Ported, slotted, cross-drilled. I don't know what I'm even saying. It's beautiful. Well, what's happening? Thanks for stopping by the garage, temporary. You know this man over here. What is it? He's got his hood on. He's
Darth Torque.
Darth Torque. That's right. Because I called him Mr. Torque earlier, and I was correct. It's Dr. Torque. But then I saw him with his hood on. He looks very, not so much Jedi maybe, but Sith-like.
Ooh, I should get some red contacts.
That's pretty good. But what are we doing in here today? Of course, we have the Raptor, which is nice. We tried to get done this project earlier. We had a little challenge, but we're back. And of course, with the Raptor and the Supercharger, it goes real well. Doesn't exactly stop real well. I think there's a couple problems on that. So the Raptor has stock F-150. I think we determined that it's exactly the same. F-150. Can you see me in there? Oh, that's you there. There's a. I'll explain. There's a camera, obviously, but there's a viewing lens.
There's a little
screen on the front, so I can see what you see now. It's very nice. So anyway, but it's the stock brakes, F-150 brakes, which are not bad, really. It kind of surprises me though that Darth Torque over there. But that they didn't beef up the brakes along with everything else. But that's not the main problem. The main problem with this one is that I have warped rotors, very warped. And if you ever had warped rotors, you know that when you stop, you kind of get that surging a little bit, right? This doesn't do that. I was talking to Tom earlier, and this does more like a hopping. It's really bad. And since we live in upstate Idaho, where it's very cold, very wintry, which is also, like I said, well, we got the tarp on both sides of the Raptor, trying to keep some of the cold out. It's very slick. And so that was kind of made me nervous. So we've got something that we're doing today, because who likes to pay for replacing parts that are exactly the same? Nobody does. That's boring. But you know what's fun? Upgraded parts. That's when it goes from, I just sucky, I gotta fix this, to it's upgraded. So we got some new parts over here. So this is a heavy one, but it's a kit. And it comes from stickers from Powerstop. But you wanna know why I like Powerstop? Because if you buy rotors and pads and you're sometimes like, well, which one should go with this? Which one should go with what? Well, with these guys, it's a kit that comes matched. So rotors, which are upgraded. Let's get those open because I want to check those out. I'm kind of excited. Because the last guy that had this truck, we think might have towed heavy equipment with it. And so when he did that, he probably got a lot of heat from the brakes. So we, oh, that's heavy. Oh man, look at that. So these babies are cross-drilled and slotted. So the hope there is not only a little bit better performance, but they are also gonna not get as hot and they won't warpify. Don't those look pretty? Isn't this a lot more fun than replacing with boring, regular replacement parts? I think so. Let's open this up real quick though. Oh man, wow. Woo. So that's the great thing about these, I hope, is that these all match. These are matched to these, and these are super heavy duty for towing, which when you go to the manufacturer, if you do, what I really like about these guys is you just put in the make of your vehicle, the model, and then it'll ask you a couple questions, and then it pulls up the options. So one of the questions was, do you ever tow? Which we do a little bit, but another couple questions were, have you changed the size of your, the size of your tires, or the bigger tires? And the thing with this truck is they're way bigger than the factory F-150, the stock ones, right? So the answer is yes, since these are factory F-150 brakes on a Raptor. Okay, let's go. Oh man. tried these. The reason I like these is because they're not just earmuffs. They actually have a mic, and it cuts out sound decibels at a certain height so it doesn't harm your ear, but you can still talk to people when you're wearing these. They're super cool. I got these at Cabela's. Oh, let's talk about sponsors today. There is none. There's no sponsor. Uncle Jake's sponsoring himself. Uncle Jake's. However, I am applying some nice former Christmas presents I haven't used, which are super cool, from Pops. Thank you very much. I super appreciate it. And I even got some from my Aunt Heidi. Thank you both very much. So, that's my sponsors. So this is actually the first project that's sort of sponsored. I mean, thanks for the brakes, guys. Anyway, check these out. They're really cool. Back to work.
I think it's crazy. Think I'm slowly. I think I'm crazy. Well, I think it's crazy. Think I'm slowly. I think I'm crazy. Well, I think it's crazy. Think I'm slowly. I think I'm crazy.
All right, let's check out what we're working with here. To me, that does look pretty hot, pretty bluish, like Tom was saying. I didn't really notice the blue until he mentioned it, but I was noticing there's some marks where the brakes have been sitting. I don't know if that was, that just from recent or from getting very hot, but that's a suspicion, right? Is that we think this thing had really some serious heat going on it at some point with trailers and stuff like that. It kept sticking, but that's old. So I guess out with the old and in with the new, right?
Sure.
So let's talk about the process. Since somebody's watching this and they've not done this, and since you are an expert and you know everything, why don't you walk through what would you do on this? Like, what are we going to do here? What's the process?
So, in order to get the rotors off, we're actually going to have to take the caliper adapter off. So this is the caliper right here. This is the thing that squeezes on the brake pads to squeeze on the rotor and, stop your vehicle.
This right probably, here, two caliper? Not two caliper. What do you call it?
Two piston.
Two piston.
I would guess.
Two piston. So nothing super fancy, but again, just stock F-150 brakes.
Yeah. There's two pistons you can see on the back side here.
Okay, so it's two. And I thought about changing that out because you can buy the same kit if you want, and it comes with new calipers. I don't know if they're more than two piston, but they're supposed to be upgraded. But what we're trying to do is see if we can upgrade the brakes. Let's fix the problem, upgrade the brakes, and actually have something decent for not that much money, because there's a few $100. Depends on the price, $350, right in that range, something like that. So for both the new rotors, and you don't have to buy them slotted and cross-drilled, but I want that because I'm trying to deal with the heat issue on this one. At least I believe is what caused it. So that's part of it, and then just the upgraded pad. So we're going to see if that works this way. So continue, sir.
So in order to get the rotor off itself, we have to actually take this, what I call a caliper adapter, which this bolts on separately, and then this bolts to it. And so to get the rotor off, we have to take both of those off. And in my mind, normally I would just say, take them both off at the same time. But in order to change the pads, we might have to actually separate these two from each other.
You think so?
So
you do? Oh, because we don't know whether they just drop in or out. Like your car?
Yeah, on my Challenger, there's kind of an opening on this side right here that you can't see from where you're standing. That you actually
just like right here.
Yeah, this big opening on the end. The whole thing's open.
But, this is
right, wow. But there's a thing here and a thing here that you take those off, and then the pads slide out. You don't have to remove the caliper in order to change the pads.
That is slick. But we don't have that on the Raptor.
Because mine has awesome 6-piston Brembo calipers on it that are made for racing.
Yeah, those suckers are serious.
Yeah, but
serious
because it's an awesome Mopar, and this is a Ford.
Did you just hear that? I think that was an insult. But don't say anything because he's here helping.
Exactly. I'll take my jack stand and go home.
That's right. Okay. Well.
So most likely what we're going to want to do is take the caliper off first and tie it up. Yeah, so we're not damaging the brake pad.
That's a pro tip. Just don't let it dangle there because of the
Might damage the brake line. I said pad.
I know, but I knew what you meant.
Line for
Yes,
those
yeah.
watching out there.
Look at these fancy gloves, by the way.
Oh,
Fancy there.
man, you're so easily distracted.
I know, but they're the first time we use, they got grippery so you don't bash your knuckles. Go ahead, continue.
Anyway,
Brake line's damaged.
don't damage the brake line. And then we'll have to take that caliper adapter off, and then the rotor almost just fall off at that point.
Or is it just like nothing?
Flop.
Flop. Floppity.
That's the plan anyway.
That's
So
the
now that
plan.
I said that out loud, it's going to be a huge pain.
I don't think so.
But Jake has a new set of screwdrivers, I hear.
I did, and we got them over there. More Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight. Look, I'm telling you, for the ride tool, if you don't need to use it a lot, and even sometimes if you do, their tools have definitely improved over the years. I still don't know why they're not sponsoring us. I mean, come on, we're like the #1. I don't want to say fanboys. That's not the right word. but we use them.
You know, I mean, I've bought tools elsewhere before, and I would still continue to if they still existed. Like, you know, Craftsman, Sears is gone in our community.
No kidding.
So that's not even a choice anymore.
No, it sucks.
So,
Lame sucks.
you know, what is there? Lowe's and Home Depot and Harbor Freight are our choices. So,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
They have really good stuff. If you haven't checked them out, I feel like they should be our sponsor because literally the prices are good and the quality is nice. I think it's a good quality, and they have different levels of quality.
Depending on product.
Yeah, it depends on the product. I mean, know what you're going to get in there, but it's good stuff. Okay, so let's.
I guess let's just get to work taking this apart, huh?
Yeah. Set up your
Sweet.
tripod again. Get back to work, Jake.
I'm not doing action today. Don't encourage him, though. I'll probably start yelling at me a lot.
Let's get back to work. That's what actually be taking advantage of these things that cause me so much trouble. The disengaging the. What happened to my stick?
No break. So that just glued on.
Or just wedged on?
Might have to adjust to using 2x4s.
Gashing the billows. Is it actually?
I don't know.
So, let me show you a little situation we ran into. Not totally unexpected, but I was certainly hoping that it wasn't. This might be loud for a second. We were what?
We were hoping that we wouldn't have to deal with
Yeah,
this.
but let's see. So, this rotor is it's not like tight on here, but over time, crud and crap gets in there and just sort of seals this, and this won't come off. But I happen to know a little trick that you can do, and I'll show you. It's by getting a bolt that goes through either this spot or this spot, and you just put a nut on one side. We were going to do two nuts, but Tom had a great idea. Just put one and then crank the bolt, holding the nut steady, and that would extend out and press this off. So we got to make a quick run to the parts store and get what we get, and then we'll be back. So we're right back. We are back, and we want to show you this because this is a big tip. Hey, did you subscribe, by the way? I can't see your keyboard in there. Did you subscribe? And click the bell.
Now watch the awesome videos.
Watch us videos.
You know,
You guys-
the dart videos anyway.
The dart ones, yeah, well, all of
Those are
them.
the important ones.
But that way you know when we're hanging out. You know what I'm saying? So we're back though, and this is the tip right here. So first, 2 bolts at the end so that you can tighten these together and have a bigger surface area that you're pressing against. Did I say nuts? I said
No.
bolts. I said bolts. This is a bolt, obviously, and these are nuts. And then just washers for, you know, the obvious reason. What we're gonna do is put this through the backside, we'll show you, and then tighten this so it's constantly, how do I describe that even? So rather than, I think I might have to show you, I'm really bad at describing this, but if this is against the opening like that, and we hold this bolt, this nut steady, and we turn this one, see how it presses in? That's a way to describe it. And also, we'll just show you, since I'm clearly very bad at describing that. Okay, places everyone, places. So, through the hole, and then over the river.
Maybe only one washer.
Yeah, I think one's probably good. We didn't know. Better to have a few in case you want it. I'm gonna need to take these off. These are
Yeah, you're not
awesome.
gonna be able to even use all those nuts. Maybe only one nut.
Wow, one nut. Might be it. Well, I might be able to get two on.
I don't know if it's really necessary.
Well, yeah. I mean, these are junk, so I guess we don't care.
I don't care.
You don't care?
I can see that it's at an angle there as it's coming off that register. There it goes. It's
Okay, if there's nothing else from this video that you ever learned, if you have to do that, because you saw us banging on that earlier and beating the crap out of it. See the rust? There's like a lip. See that extra lip right there where it wedged? So it is kind of tight. I just want to say something. This right here, to if you're working on these, that's your 4-wheel drive actuator line. That's a vacuum line. Those things get really brittle. I've had to replace it on this one because it was just breaking off with your finger. But I still would like to really
just this right here. It like goes from one
Oh my
side of
gosh.
the vehicle to the other.
It goes just so in case you need
The
to.
radiator.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we got a video on it, but it goes up and then back down and then back here and across the front and over. It's a pain in the butt. But there, we do have a video on that if you have to change these. They get really brittle. They suck. All these stuff sucks. Okay, enough complaining. No, this is just one part. Well, as I always like to say, the SVT team did some pretty sweet stuff to the Ford.
So,
And then they went away.
before
Okay,
you
so
forget, take that bolt out.
yes, let's take the bolt out. That's a great idea.
It's bad we bought extra nuts and washers. Waste of money.
Waste of money. We're gonna save this bolt. This is a very valuable bolt. This is our A game bolt. This is our what do you call like the most valuable player?
Oh, an MVP?
What do you call when it's most valuable player? What do you call that? That's right. So all right, I will clean this up, and then we'll get back to work. We'll show you the assembly. Oh, does it?
Label.
Oh, is it labeled?
Yeah, because the
Right, the direction of the rows. Okay, so, but there is one thing while we're getting those out and digging into them. Although, of course, I knew that would be for the passenger side. Of course. But Tom had a really good tip, and that is when you get these out, sometimes, go ahead, sure.
Oh, a lot of times these are coated with like a rust preventer. Like sometimes it's really thick and like waxy type stuff, but before you put it on, you want to clean it anyway, especially the back side of it, which is the side you can't see, because it's harder to get to after the fact.
Yeah,
So you want to make sure everything's nice and clean as you're putting it together.
Yeah, especially because you're going to go out and seat these, and part of the seating process, which we'll talk about, is getting some material from the pads onto the rotors when we heat them up. So we wouldn't want that crap on there. So, okay, well, we're going to get the correct one,
Clean
the
it
right
too.
side, and clean it too, and then we'll get to put them on.
Yay.
Yay! Perfect. By the way, the reason we're doing this is because we have to compress the pads, I guess, the pistons. Well, yeah, the pad, which presses the pistons. And then the problem is you're putting all that brake fluid back in the line and working it up to the master cylinder, which, as like Tom was just reminding me, if it's over full, it's going to get on everything, and that really is bad for paint. So we're just checking to see how full it is, and then I make sure we can do it. Okay, back to work.
I think it's crazy. Think I'm slowly.
So I took this out and I was like, you know, that's got a fair amount of pad left, which is not bad. But one interesting thing is when you compare them to the new ones, look at how much more the new one has. Pretty significant. This is below half for sure. And then we were trying to figure out inner and outer, and we just discovered the same. But look at this, shiny. This one doesn't have anything shiny on it.
Show them the beveled edges too.
Oh, the beveled edges. So that is one big difference between these guys. Is I got beveled edges and straight edges. Now, what would you say the main advantage of that is?
I think it's they're quieter. Less
Quieter.
squealy,
Less squealy's good, you
I
know?
believe.
We believe, we think, we hope, we might. We're gonna find out. But the most important part is this is shiny. And it says extreme. Extreme. Okay, I thought I'd show you what we're talking about on using the C-clamps and pressing the pistons. So it might be a little bit hard to see, but the pistons are back there. Two dual pistons right back there. And the new pads, as you saw, are thicker.
So is rotor.
So is the rotor thicker too?
A little bit.
Well, true, because even if it's the same, it's not worn, right? So thicker no matter what. So you have to press those back, but once you do is you squeeze them in, it pushes the fluid up, it holds itself. You don't have to have the clamp stay on, and that should allow us to get it back in place. And you can see why it's hanging, why we have this hanging here, so it's not putting pressure on all these lines, especially these flimsy, stinking vacuum lines for the
Tell them how you press that in though. That you left the old pad in.
Okay, yes, actually, yeah. So what you do, yeah, I should have showed that. You can take the outside pad off, but you leave the inside pad in, and just put the C-clamps right over here, and just squeeze it in. Super simple and easy, and well.
That way, by using the old pad, you're not damaging the pistons of the
Yes.
pistons themselves, or causing them to cock or whatever. It's keeping it square and
Yeah.
pushing them both in at the same time.
It's a very good tip. So now we just started assembling this puppy, putting it back together. But we sanded that. What would you call a little ring?
Center register.
Center register. See how much he knows? He knows all the technical terms. The center register. What did you do? I saw something in the background. And then this one like slides on now so easy that it wants to fall off. But that's really great because it's just a little bit of rough sandpaper and we're good to go. Okay, well on the next step, we're moving right along now. I think that's all I have to say about that.
Action!
I think I'm crazy. Well, I think it's crazy. Think I'm slowly. I think I'm crazy. Well.
But look what we have to check out. Ooh, shiny. Look at that. Ported, slotted, cross-drilled. I don't know what I'm even saying. It's beautimous. Now,
Shock's all dirty.
what's the company's name again that I just talked about?
Powerstop?
Powerstop. Now, Powerstop. I know you're probably like, man, we totally missed an opportunity to sponsor this video. But don't worry, because we could do the backs still. But today, all we're going to change in the backs is the pads. And we haven't changed the rotors, so don't worry. You got a fine opportunity to be like, we'll pay for what he's already given us.
Free advertising.
Free advertising. Now look, unfortunately, you can't see the extreme right there because it's covered. Like, I guess Ford didn't want you to be afraid to see the extreme right there, but there it is. But look, it's shiny. And that's really weird. Okay, well, that's that. Now we're going to put the wheel back on and then get to the other side and then swap out the backs and then go do the break-in, which will be probably the next point that we probably really talk about because that's kind of important to do a particular way. And not a lot of people know it. Okay, let's get back to work.
I think it's crazy. Think I'm slowly. I think I'm crazy. Well, I think it's crazy.
happening? Got me Americano. You ever tried one of those? Kind of cool. It's like coffee, only it's just got a little bit of cream in it. Anyways, I hope you had a great morning. Obviously, it's the next day because Dr. Torque and I, although we did complete the front brakes, we ran out of time. It was dark. And we didn't even realize it because we actually happened to be inside, which is a rarity that we got to work on a vehicle inside. So the front's done. We did a little test drive, a little seating in. We're going to talk about that though, and I'll wrap this puppy up. But it was success. So, very good stuff. Let's go for a drive. After this car goes behind me, because I just pulled over where I was getting my coffee. Okay, we're back, and we got some better speeds here. But you know what I was thinking? We should call Joel. We should call Joel and see if he's available. So I got my handy Bluetooth for safety reasons and noise canceling because it's a loud Raptor. We're gonna call up Joel right now and see if he's available. Let's see if there's a Joel on the other line. It's ringing. Joel, what's happening? Hey, I got him on the line. You probably can't hear him because it's a little loud in the Raptor. But Joel, hey, listen, we're recording and we're out testing the Raptor. We got the brakes all done last night. Well, the front. We didn't get the back done. We got the front done, and it's working awesome. They're so smooth. Oh, it's super smooth. Oh yes. It's absolutely gone. Let me see if I can put you on. I wonder if a speaker would work. Let's try that. I'll turn you up. Are you there still, Joel?
I am still here.
Okay, you could probably join in now, everybody. That's great. Yes, it is so smooth that the shutter is gone, and you know how at higher speeds, actually it's gonna be loud for a second. I gotta get up. There we go. Now we're gonna brake really hard. Oh, you know how at high speeds it was actually hopping? Gone. Gone. It's gone, dude. That's gone. How exciting is that?
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm pretty dang thrilled by it. I would say that was really cool. I wouldn't say that I noticed a huge increase in stopping power. I would say it does feel like a little though with the pads and the new rotors, which is great. That wasn't the main reason. The main reason, of course, was just to fix that. Horrible.
Shaking all over the place.
Yeah. Well, you were in here when we were. If you're on the freeway and you have to stop fast, it almost feels like it's starting to hop a little bit. It's very scary.
Yes, for sure. That big a truck, when it's hopping all over the place trying to come to a stop, I bet you that's much improved if that went away.
It is. So, success. So, we didn't get, we're not put on like Brembos, but also successful. What a nice way to order rotors and pads and have them matched for you. You don't have to worry about it. Not just matched to the rotors and pads, but also to your driving styles or what you're doing. Like, in this case, bigger wheels and tires and the occasional towing that we do. Also, that much heavier Raptor.
That's fantastic. I love it.
It is. So, all right, you can help us close the video out, and this is a little test drive. So, is it very loud? By the way, is the Raptor loud on your end?
It is not. Your phone is doing a good job of cutting out non-voices.
Awesome. We're gonna do one more stop here, just because, and then there's a car coming, but it's okay with the Raptor because. That will just put a smile on your face. That's why I drive a Raptor right there. One of the reasons. Also, supercharged does not hurt at all. You don't need coffee. You just need a supercharger. That'll wake you right up. So, I want to say thanks for everybody for joining. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we're hanging out, because it's fun to hang out. Isn't that right, Joel?
Gotta hit the bell, otherwise how can we hang out?
That's right, you gotta know. So that was a good time. I hope you had a good time. We actually really enjoyed that. And how much fun to not only have success on the end of your project, but success with an upgraded part. That makes it even more fun. So we appreciate it. We love you. You know what we're doing. We're gonna take you out. Joel's gonna do it virtually with the fist bump of friendship. Wow!